It seems like there's a lot of effort involved in creating detailed practice plans. Isn't that just taking time that you could be using to do the practice itself? But a lot of people, including me, will tell you that it's important to have one. Hey friends, Morley-Fletcher here, and today we're going to talk a bit about what the benefits are of having a good practice plan. And we'll also be talking about, well, what would you be missing out on if you don't have one? And we might get into some thoughts as well on when actually it might make sense for you not to worry so much. And as a bonus tip, I'm also going to share the biggest secret to creating a really useful practice plan. So the first big thing that having a practice plan is going to do for you is it's going to help you really focus on the things that actually matter in your music, the things that are going to get you where you want to go to. And part of this is, yes, making sure that you do the important things, but just as important is making sure that you're clear on what to leave out, because it's really easy to fill up your practice time with loads of stuff, and there's 100 different things you think you should be working on or could be working on, and they're never all of equal importance. Some are clearly more important than others. So this habit, this practice of putting together a plan forces you to think about what really matters and what actually doesn't matter at all, and also maybe what would be nice but it's just not as important as the one or two things that I've got to do. So that's what having a plan is going to get you. It's that focus on the key things. And so in contrary to that, if you don't have a plan, that's going to leave you potentially directionless, rudderless. You're not going to one particular goal that you want to get to. You're not making big progress. You might be zipping this way one day, another way the next, and potentially even going around in circles. And the second big thing that having a practice plan in place is going to do for you is it's going to help you get straight down to effective practice on the day. When you know what you're doing, you can turn up, you start your practice session, you're straight into it. You don't have to think about what you're doing, what topic you're working on. And you don't even have to think about, well, okay, I know what I'm working on, but how exactly am I practicing this? What am I doing? You've got it all mapped out in advance. You get straight to it. It is really effective. And it's just allowing you to make the most of the time that you have, whether that's because you have very little time at all and it really matters to get the maximum out of everything, or just to use the amount of focus and concentration you have because it's all going on important practice rather than getting dissipated on trying to work out what to do. So if you don't have a plan in place, if you don't have a practice plan there, you are missing out on effectiveness in your practice. And the third really important thing that having a practice plan does for you is that it allows you to measure your progress. When you put a practice plan together, you're thinking about, well, what is the goal I'm looking to get to? And after that is when you're deciding, well, what exercises are going to get me there? And that's what goes in your plan. So when you have that in mind, you know where you're trying to get to. You've got a measure of what progress am I making against that, particularly if you design the practice plan well so that you've got really clear, measurable outcomes. And so this means that you can change tack if things are not working. Maybe you can see that the things you're doing just actually they're not helpful for getting you to where you want to go to. Or maybe you think, well, still this is the right sort of exercise, but I'm not seeing it making progress in my actual playing. And so you can choose to work on a completely different topic, or you can say, okay, I need to find a different exercise that still works on the same thing, but one that is actually going to get me where I want to go. And this is really important, both if you find you're not making progress. It means you can catch that early and change things up. But it's also really important for when you are making good progress, because if you've got a few goals that you want to get to, things that you want to improve, like most of us do, it's not about spending all your time on one of them and forgetting the others. If you've made good progress in one area, that may mean it's time to move on. So when you've got a measurable way of doing this, your practice plan is in place, you know what your aims are, it may be that actually you get to where you want to go in one of those areas quickly, and you can say, okay, great, I'm done with this area, I've made great progress, now it's time to work on something else. So if you don't have that practice plan in place, you are potentially just not going to catch these things. You're potentially going to find yourself doing things that are ineffective, either just generally, or ineffective in maybe they're taking you somewhere, but it's not where you want to go. And yes, even without a practice plan, you can take a guess at this. But why would you want to navigate by guesswork and just possibility? I have no idea if I'm getting this right, when you could be doing it with objective data and be confident that you are making the right choices. And if you're finding what I'm sharing here useful, then please click the like button so this video can spread to more people. Thanks. And the fourth reason why having a good practice plan can be really important is that it allows you to spend the right amount of time on the different topics that are important to you. If you're anything like me, you'll probably have 3 or 4 things that you want to work on at any one time. And hopefully you're in a situation where you're motivated, you're excited to do this. And in that case, it's really easy to get carried away in your practice session and just stay with one topic because it's going well for ages, or maybe even in the other way around. It may be that you're not making the progress you'd like, and so you're determined to get there, and so you stick with it, and before you know it, the whole practice session has gone by and you've only practiced one topic out of 4, or maybe you just do 5 minutes at the end trying to get through the other 3. So if you don't have a practice plan, this is how it can be. It can be really unbalanced. You might know that you want to work on a few different areas, but it's not happening in reality. When you've got things planned out, that is going to allow you to allocate time to the different things, to know why it is you've chosen that amount of time for them. You've made a clear decision on this. You're not just leaving it to chance, and to know when the right time is to switch so that you really can spread your effort out in the different areas that you want and get the results that you're looking for across all your different objectives. So I hope that's given you some insights into just why having a good practice plan can be so helpful for your music. And of course, there are more reasons than just that, but I think that's a great set to get started with. And hopefully that's got you excited and motivated to make sure you are getting those benefits and that you want to actually get a practice plan in place for you right now. And if so, the biggest secret to how to make this work is to know that done is better than perfect. You've got to just do it, put something in place that is okay, and use it. And the more that you use it, the more you'll be able to make little tweaks. You'll see things that work well in your plan. You'll see things that don't work so well. You'll get new ideas for how to change it. But it's really easy to get caught up thinking, oh, okay, I've got to have the absolute ultimate perfect practice plan and spend ages trying to design it and not ever putting it into practice because you think it's not ready yet. You think it can be better. You're worried about whether it's good enough. Don't get caught up on that. Find a way to make a decent start that is far from perfect and get using it. And that is how you're really going to get the biggest benefit out of this. But obviously, it's really helpful to have some guidelines and best practices when you put a practice plan together. So this video here is going to give you 4 simple steps that you can follow to make that whole process quick and easy for you.